Chapter 5. I can't speak. All I can do is gaze up at him, a bubble of disbelief rising inside me. This man is seriously, achingly good-looking, like Armani model good-looking. He has medium brown curly hair cropped short. He has blue eyes, broad shoulders, and an expensive-looking suit. He has a square jaw, impeccably shaved. How did I land this guy? How? Hi, he says, and his voice is all deep and rounded, like an actor's. Hi, I manage breathlessly. Look at his huge chest. He must work out every day. And look at his polished shoes and his designer watch. My eyes drift back to his hair. I never thought I'd marry someone with curly hair. Funny that. Not that I have anything against curly hair. I mean, on him it looks fabulous. My darling, he strides to the bed in a rustle of expensive flowers. You look so much better than yesterday. I feel fine. Thanks very much. I take the bouquet from him. It's the most amazing, trendy, designer-looking bouquet I've ever seen. All shades of white and taupe. Where on earth do you get taupe roses? So, you're Eric, I add? Just to be 100% sure. I can see the shock reverberate through his face, but he manages to smile. Yes, that's right. I'm Eric. You still don't know me? Not really. In fact, not at all. I told you, Mom chips in, shaking her head. I'm so sorry, Eric. But I'm sure she'll remember soon, if she makes a real effort. What's that supposed to mean? I shoot her an affronted look. Well, darling, she says, these things are all a matter of willpower, I've read. Mind over matter. I'm trying to remember, okay? I say indignantly. You think I want to be like this? We'll take it slowly, Eric says, ignoring Mom. He sits down on the bed. Let's see if we can trigger some memories. May I? He gestures toward my hand. Yes, okay. I nod and he takes my hand in his. It's a nice hand, warm and firm, but it's a stranger's hand. Lexi, it's me, he says in firm, resonant tones. It's Eric, your husband. We've been married for nearly 2 years. I'm too mesmerized to reply. He's even better looking up close. His skin is really smooth and tan, and his teeth are a perfect gleaming white. Oh my gosh, I've had sex with this man, shoots through my mind. He's seen me naked. He's ripped my underwear off. We've done who knows what together, and I don't even know him. At least, I assume he's ripped my underwear off, and we've done who knows what. I can't exactly ask with Mom in the room. I wonder what he's like in bed. Surreptitiously, I run my eyes over his body. Well, I married him. He must be pretty good, surely. Is something on your mind? Eric has noticed my wandering gaze. Darling, if you have any questions, just ask away. Nothing. I flush. Nothing. Sorry. Carry on. We met nearly 3 years ago. Eric continues at a reception at Pyramid TV. They make Ambition, the reality show we were both involved in. We were attracted instantly. We were married in June and honeymooned in Paris. We had a suite at the George V. It was wonderful. We went to Montmartre. We visited the Louvre. We had Cafe au lait every morning. He breaks off. Do you recall any of this? Not really, I say, feeling guilty. Sorry. Maybe Mom's right. I should try harder to remember. Come on, Paris. The Mona Lisa.
You're not supposed to sit there. You can't. This is only for the condo. I'm being serious. I'm not being obnoxious.
Okay.
Just letting you know. Because if the cops come, because somebody will call cops.
Okay. Men with stripy shirts. Think. I cast my mind back, desperately trying to match his face with images of Paris to trigger some memory. Did we go up the Eiffel Tower? I say at last. Yes, his face lights up. Are you starting to remember? We stood in the breeze and took photos of each other. No, I cut him off. I just guessed. Paris, Eiffel Tower. Seemed quite likely that if the cop finally came, we could, investigate the Shining elevator. Finally. 3 years fucking later. Anyway. He nods with obvious disappointment and we lapse into silence. To my slight relief, there's a knock at the door and I call out, "Come in." Nicole enters holding a clipboard. "Just need to do a quick blood pressure check," she breaks off as she sees Eric holding my hand. "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt." "Don't worry," I say. "This is Nicole, one of the nurses who's been looking after me." I gesture around the room. This is my mom and sister, and my husband, who's called, I meet her eyes significantly, Eric. "Eric," Nicole's eyes light up. "Very nice to meet you, Eric." "It's a pleasure." Eric nods at her. "I'm eternally grateful to you for looking after my wife." Wife. My stomach flips over at the word. I'm his wife? This is all so grown up. I bet we have a mortgage, too. And a burglar alarm. "My pleasure." Nicole gives him a professional smile. "Lexi's a great patient." She wraps the blood pressure cuff around my arm and turns to face me. "I'll just pump this up." "He's gorgeous," she mouths, giving me a surreptitious thumbs up, and I can't help beaming back. It's true. My husband is officially gorgeous. I've never even had a date with anyone in his league before, let alone get married to them. Let alone go and eat croissants in the George V. Hotel. Or George V. Hotel. "I'd very much like to make a donation to the hospital," Eric says to Nicole, his deep, actory voice filling the room. "If you have any special appeal or fund." "That would be wonderful," exclaims Nicole. "We've got an appeal right now for a new scanner." "Maybe I could run the marathon for it," he suggests. "I run every year for a different cause." I'm nearly bursting with pride. None of my other boyfriends has ever run the marathon. Loser Dave could barely make it from the sofa to the TV. "Well," says Nicole, raising her eyebrows as she lets the blood pressure cuff deflate. "It's a real pleasure to meet you, Eric. Lexi, your pressure looks fine." She writes something on my notes. "Is that your lunch there?" she adds, noticing the untouched tray. "Oh, yes, I forgot all about it." "You must eat, and I'm going to ask everyone not to stay too much longer." She turns to Mom and Amy. "I know you want to spend time with Lexi, but she's still fragile. She needs to take it easy." "I'll do whatever it takes." Eric clasps my hand. "I just want my wife well again." Mom and Amy start to gather their things, but he stays put. "I'd like a few moments, just the two of us," he says, "if that's okay, Lexi." "Oh," I say with a dart of apprehension. Fine." Please, can we also talk about my skull bashing? Mom and Amy both come over to hug me goodbye, and Mom makes another quick attempt to straighten my hair. Then the door closes behind them, and I'm left alone with Eric in a still, strange silence. "So," Eric says at last. "So, this is weird." I attempt a little laugh, which immediately peters out to nothing. Eric is gazing at me, his brow furrowed. "Have the doctors said whether you'll ever retrieve your memories?" "I think I will, but they don't know when." Eric gets up and strides to the window, appearing lost in thought. "So it's a waiting game," he says at last. "Is there anything I can do to speed the process?" "I don't know," I say helplessly. "Maybe you could tell me some more about us and our relationship?" "Absolutely good idea." He turns, his frame silhouetted against the window. "What do you want to know about? Ask me anything at all." "Well, where do we live?" "We live in Kensington, in a loft-style apartment." He proclaims the words as though they're capitalized. "That's my business, loft-style living." As he says the phrase loft-style living, he makes a sweeping, parallel hands gesture, as though he's moving bricks along a conveyor belt. "Wow, we live in Kensington." I cast around for another question to ask, but it all seems so arbitrary, like I'm padding out time in an interview. "What sort of things do we do together?" I say eventually. "We eat fine food, we watch movies, we went to the ballet last week, had dinner at the Ivy afterward." "The Ivy?" I can't help gasping. "I've been to dinner at the Ivy? Why can't I remember any of this?" I shut my eyes tightly, trying to mentally kickstart my brain into action, but nothing. At last, I open my eyes again, feeling a bit dizzy, to see Eric has noticed the rings on the cabinet. That's your wedding ring, isn't it? He looks up puzzled. Why is it here? They took it off for the scans, I explain. Shall I? He picks up the ring and takes hold of my left hand. I feel a sudden prickle of alarm. No. Before I can stop myself, I yank my hand away and Eric flinches. I'm sorry, I say after an awkward pause. I'm really sorry. You're a stranger. Of course. Eric has turned away, still holding the ring. Of course. Stupid of me. Oh gosh, he looks really hurt. I shouldn't have said stranger. I should have said friend I haven't met yet. I'm really sorry, Eric. I bite my lip. I do want to know you and love you and everything. You must be a really wonderful person, or I wouldn't have married you. And you look really good, I add encouragingly. I wasn't expecting anyone nearly so handsome. I mean, my last boyfriend wasn't a patch on you. I look up to see Eric staring at me. It's strange, she says at last. You're not yourself. The doctors warned me, but I didn't realize it would be so extreme. For a moment, he looks almost overcome. Then his shoulders straighten. Anyway, we'll get you right again. I know we will. He carefully puts the ring back on the cabinet, sits down on the bed, and takes my hand. And just so you know, Lexi, I love you. Really? I beam delightedly before I can stop myself. I mean, Fab, thanks very much. None of my boyfriends has ever said I love you like that, i.e. properly, in the middle of the day, like a grown-up, and not just pissed or while having sex. I have to reciprocate. What shall I say? I love you too. No. I probably love you too. No. Eric, I'm sure I love you too deep down somewhere, I say at last, clasping his hand. And I'll remember. Maybe not today, and maybe not tomorrow, but we'll always have Paris. I pause, thinking this through. At least you'll have it, and you can tell me about it. Eric looks slightly mystified. Eat your lunch and take a rest. He pats my shoulder. I'll leave you in peace. Maybe I'll wake up tomorrow and remember everything, I say hopefully, as he gets to his feet. Let's hope. He scans my face for a moment or two. But even if you don't, my darling, we'll sort this out. Deal? Deal, I nod. See you later. He lets himself out quietly. I sit still in the silence for a moment. My head's starting to throb again, and I'm a bit dazed. It's all too much. Amy has blue hair, and Brad Pitt has a love child with Angelina Jolie, and I have a gorgeous husband who just said he loves me. I'm half expecting to go to sleep and wake up back in 2004, hung over on Carolyn's floor, and find this was all a dream.